Hello and welcome to the third session of 5 sessions. This session will focus on funding for your student group. So what can funds be put towards? There's so many things, especially you as account managers know. There's many things that funds can be used towards. I have identified the most common requests for funding. First, of course, is honoraria or speaker fees. Second is catering, whether that be food for thought internal catering or external catering, printing for flyers, posters, supplies such as cups, plates, film supplies. Venue fees are another very common one, such as the ballroom, if there's any cleaning fees associated with that, tech fees, and then, of course, travel fees, renting a hotel, traveling for an artist, bringing an artist into our city. So there's many reasons why student groups will request funding. So what is the first route? Student government funds. Student government allocates $30,000 per year, so that's $15,000 per semester for student groups and their programs. This is primarily for the use of student groups, so this is why we suggest this be the first route, because here is money specifically set aside for student groups. Now, student government responsible for allocating this $30,000 between however many groups we have right now, looking around 51. That's a lot of money to manage, right? But not a lot of money when you divide it per group. And so student government, when they meet with student groups, will need to decide, like, what is the return on investment for this program or this artist? What does this add to the community? Those funds can be requested online through Engage, which we'll talk about in the next session. How do we disperse funds? So say a student group receives funds from student government. The first is, of course, using a purchasing card. And that way, the student doesn't need to put out money. And this way, we can just be responsible for payment of the money. So I manage a P card, and I can work with student groups directly. Next, of course, is honoraria, invoice payment requests, or one-time payments. And so I will work on securing paperwork and then having artists or individuals sign this, and then we'll issue them checks using the fiscal office. Next, of course, is internal transfers. So sometimes departments will send money internally to another account, one of the accounts that I'll manage with student groups in mind, and then the money will come out really from my account. And then lastly is reimbursement. We can definitely reimburse students for whatever it is they're purchasing for their programs. This is our last recommendation, since reimbursement can take time to complete. And so with our students needing to fund their personal art projects or fund rent or food, we would definitely prefer to pay for it outright. So some resources for you. There's funding as outlined in the handbook. There's also additional sources of funding, and I can help you manage those. So should you not receive all the funds you need to from student government, please don't hesitate to reach out. I can help in managing where you can find departmental funds, and then also navigating the fundraising process. So if that sounds like something that your group is into or potentially would be interested in, given that they didn't receive funds from student government, please reach out to me and I'm happy to help navigate. Thank you, and please continue to the next session, which will focus on Engage.